And we're live. What's up?
Hey, how's it going?
So I have no idea where you guys are right now as far as not Iron Coder, or not Iron Coder, but as far as the project. Been so out
um,
of it.
I think we've had a couple pull requests this week, or at least some changes. I know Andre was working on some Bootstrap stuff. He checked in some Bootstrap stuff last week,
Nice.
and last week we also were working on trying to figure something out. It had to do with the separate applications that we had. We have the Big Snake application, we have the blog application, and some of the URL routing wasn't working correctly.
So yeah, the Big Snake application was kind of confusing to me. I understand kind of the concept of that you'll have your main like central application. Is that what Big Snake was supposed to be? And then the blog was like some secondary app.
Yeah.
I think
Okay.
so.
Well, yeah. Guess I thought more about it than I thought I thought.
But yeah, we got at least some people in here who haven't really used Django before, myself included. So
Yeah.
we weren't really sure the direction to take on that, or how to fix it or not fix it, and which was appropriate.
Yeah. And I think that was a problem that I had before with the Django build that I was working on with my brother. And, we had the idea, yeah, this was going to be a multiple app project, so it made sense to have everything separated like that. But then for some reason, I could just never get URLs to point properly, and it was like, well, this sucks, and I'm just going to go back to Flask where I know everything works.
Better.
But I think it makes sense if you have like your blog functionality in one app, and maybe your search functionality in another app, and maybe, I don't know, your comments or something in a third app or something like that. That kind of makes sense to me, where you'd have separate URLs.
Yeah. And I absolutely agree with you, but I also think that right now you just have a blog. I don't know if there were any plans to go beyond that, so to me it wouldn't make sense to do anything outside of that. But, who knows?
Well, we all sort of expressed interest in wanting to do web app stuff. So one of the suggestions with doing a blog was that way, when we decided we wanted to do other projects, we could tie it back into the blog and host it together. So in that sense, it makes sense to split it up and be proactive and ready for when are we going to break this into pieces.
Oh, well, with that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
That way you're not having to worry about like subsiting stuff and
right,
doing some crazy stuff with like Nginx in the background.
Yep. So, I don't know. Do we want to do stand-up? We at least when Philip news probably first. He joined us last week for a while, and he's having a great time in his new role.
Writing Ruby.
Writing Ruby.
He should be banned from leading us. I'm not going to spark that rebellion, though.
Well, no, he's going to be taking an extended hiatus from this while he gets settled in and whatnot. So there is. I know, Jay, you have the Saturday discussion groups. I have the Iron Coder thing. So I don't know about you, but for myself, I'm happy to keep things going, but I kind of want to focus on one or the other kind of a thing. But that leaves a place if someone else wants to, even just like for a week, or present something. Anyone who wants to kind of have content to present, you are more than welcome to do that, and please speak up and do so. Otherwise, I'm sure me and Jay can keep it rolling as long as we need to. I'm speaking for him. I haven't talked to him ahead of time, but I'm assuming so.
Yeah, I was like, I have made the promise, given that I am ridiculously busy with so many things right now, that I'm not taking on any new projects. I'm still coming up with ideas, though. So, once again, if you need an idea, let me know. I got some. But, But yeah, so even with the Saturday discussion, if you guys noticed, we didn't even have one last week just because of like I had someone cancel, and then the person that that was able to fill in could only do it in the evening, and it was the day before my wife's birthday, so it was like that's not about to happen. And like Saran and everybody was busy, and no one could fill in, and it was like, well, we'll figure this out. And like I said, there is one this week, so that's good. And I do see, I think we've got someone booked every week until mid-November, so I think we're good. But yeah, right now, as I was telling Derek and Jonathan before we got started, I mean, I just landed my first client with this consulting thing that I'm doing. And yeah, we're getting that off the ground, and that's actually causing me to do more Python than I would even feel comfortable doing. Like, it's been cool because it's like, we need a way that we can do this and make it really, really smart. And we're like, oh, Python, that sounds great. And unfortunately, it's like, if you don't know what you're building, but you know the tools that you need to build it, does that really make you an architect? Like that's kind of the feeling that I have right now is I know that I'm going to use Python, I know that I'm going to take advantage of some of these modules. However, I have no idea what I'm going to build, and it just seems like the most backward way of doing things, and unfortunately that's how it is right now.
Fake it till you make it.
Exactly. I love that. One of my favorite sayings.
Right. So first, what did I do this week in Python? Oh, I completed my Iron Coder exercise, which was Mad Libs. I did that on Monday. Put that together, and it allows you to select from 2 stories. You can do more if you decide to write them. It's got a little file format that you can plug in and run, and it uses Python to do that. Other than that, I don't think I've done anything this week. I wanted to take a look at TDD and Django and stuff, but I didn't get a chance to do that, unfortunately. What about other folks?
Well, this week I was working on the Mad Libs thing too. I did the Mad Libs thing. It prints out the words that you had to add into the story. It prints them in color, but apparently, from what I've been told, that Windows punches you in the face when you use the color codes. So
should have used Windows 10.
Yeah. So I found a couple of libraries that should fix that, but I wasn't even using Windows, so I had no idea that would happen with the ASCII escape code color things.
That came up during Iron Coder last week.
Yeah,
I want to say Dylan asked about that, and since I'm on a Windows machine, I quick cloned your repo and ran it, and it worked. Other than the fact that it had these strange characters in there.
Yeah, Windows loves doing that. But I did that, and then I was working on the other little Twitter thing that I had going before. I was fixing it up so you don't have to. It's easier to add things in. You don't have to go deep into the code to go change things.
So I remember a conversation that we had at one point about your insane amount of retweets.
Yes.
And I was wondering if you could utilize your tool, or if you could modify it in any way to help you with that.
I probably could. I wasn't even thinking about that.
Because I'm just thinking, like, you have so many in your sites that you retweet, but you talk about like, I have to go into each one and retweet it and retweet it and retweet it. I'm like, dude, what? Why? Like, why can't you just save all of those to something and have it retweet for you? Like, I mean, I guess either way it's the same thing, but maybe you could, like, I don't know, channel like your Feedly like RSS feed or something, and then just retweet everything, or just favorite it and it'll do it.
I should do that, like an if this then that.
Yeah, I mean, I was actually going to say you should probably just use if this and that. That way you know that it works. But I mean,
yeah, save like 10,000 tweets and then retweet them all at the same time to break through.
I'm not sure I like where this is going.
that sounds like a good way to get blocked by Twitter forever.
Yeah.
You have no friends in that one, sorry.
No, don't do that. Yeah, but all right, that's that's all I did this week. Mad Libs and the Twitter thing.
Cool.
I have been working on Iron Coder, and so this is the Mad Libs thing, but I just wanted to do it as a Django app. So there's been some Python and Django in the back end. I'm finding that I'm having more trouble with the front end stuff because I've never done it before. So CSS and JavaScript are not my friend. And I am going to not make the deadline tomorrow with it. There's no way. But I know. But it's intrigued me enough that I'm going to keep working on it.
That's good.
So maybe in another couple of weeks you'll actually see a word madness page somewhere.
Nice.
Well, I didn't do anything this week, and I feel bad about it. But next week I'm on it.
Right on. Well, it's good to have you back.
Yeah, I've been on vacation for the last two weeks, so.
Oh man.
Awesome.
Yeah.
In that case, I'm glad to see that you're back, but yet I'm sorry that you. Well, nice. So that's everybody, and I don't know if any of us were any of us like working on the current pull requests that were put in, or no.
I don't think
so. Well, I think Jamal, I think your pull request is still in there.
Yeah, I never registered it in. I should probably do that because we got the okay to do that last week, and haven't done it. It's just documentation.
Yeah.
Hey, this documentation is important. It's so important.
I'm not sure. I think you were being sarcastic, but I'm not sure.
No. It's one of those things where it's like you hear it and you just want to punch the guy that says it, but at the same time you know that they're right, so you're just like, you're right, it is, but shut up.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Oh man.
So here's my pull request. I think where'd it go?
Are you sharing your screen?
No, I was just gonna do it.
Oh.
I mean, I could share my screen if you want. But.
I've had trouble with my computer the last couple of weeks, and it seems to be that it can't handle when someone else is sharing their screen, and it can either transmit my face or give me someone else's screen. So if someone's going into a screen share mode, I want to turn my camera off.
Oh, okay. That's pretty odd. That's a strange.
Yeah, I know.
What kind of system is it?
It's an old Windows.
Nope. See, there's the problem right there.
No. It's a Dell Inspiron, and it's probably like 5 years old.
I wasn't going to say that it was because it was a Windows machine. I was going to say because it's an old Windows machine.
Yeah.
I mean, in the true nature of, I have a Windows machine, so I can just modify it and update all the parts inside. I mean, no, you should be doing that. If it's old, then no, you put new stuff in it.
I don't know. Is it Windows 10 or Windows 7 or Windows XP?
No.
Windows not supported.
It's Windows 7. I'm waiting to upgrade to Windows 10. I've heard of people that I work remotely sometimes, and I've heard of people having trouble with that with Windows 10. So I'm waiting for them to iron out all the bugs.
I don't know. When the last Windows release that I had that I actually enjoyed, I think, was Windows NT Service Pack 4. So that was quite a while ago.
Yeah.
That was a good release.
I think it only blue screened on me twice in the 4 years I was using it, so it was pretty good.
So, if we don't have a topic, I would like to open the floor with a question. And this goes to all of the team testing goat people.
Uh-oh.
No, it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. So,
Is this about that little plastic container with a cat in it that Jonathan posted?
No, not at all. I have no idea what that was when I saw it. I was confused. So, I've been in the process of, and I think that I think I know what the problem is. The problem is, if you have any common sense, you won't refactor your code until it's finished, because refactoring your code while building your code only causes you headaches in the end. But let's just say,
refactor.
Unless you have a problem where the way you've built it so far doesn't work for what you want to do from there on out, in which case you need to change the way you've built it.
Yeah.
But in general, I would agree, yeah.
Well, yeah, and that was what spawned this whole show noter rebuild, was that I realized that, hey, in order to throw a database in here, in order to do any type of future, development on this, I've literally coded myself into completion for the way that this one project was set up, and there was no scale to it. So now it was just like in the process of learning functional programming and being able to say, like, okay, I'm building this so that it'll actually scale. I've been doing a lot of refactoring. In that, I've been breaking a lot of tests, and it's annoying in the amount of, like, I literally spend most of my time coding now of just fixing tests, and it's annoying. I hate it.
So yeah, I think it's a good point that refactoring is great, but it's not always great. There's a time to refactor and a time to just get it working, which I think is what Derek was saying. Also, I have suffered, especially when I was first starting out, but even now, at times I'll write brittle tests, like tests that test something very specific, and that they break very easily when I make changes, and then I'll end up doing a lot of work, not necessarily still assuring that it's correct, but instead of testing maybe that, I don't know, that like a certain word appears on the screen, I'm testing that this is surrounded by this tag or something like that. Trying to leave a little, I guess, wiggle room in there, or just design your tests in such a way that you're not necessarily testing specifics, but more for functionality.
Well, and that was the problem, is that in a lot of I had a couple of functions in there that were reliant, and I know that's, shame on me. You don't build functions that are reliant on other functions unless it's like your function that's actually doing what it, the end game. So by taking those out, I mean, I only have like 16 tests, also shame on me, but at the same time, it was like 7 of them broke because of this. Mm-hmm. And it was like, I'm only trying to test, like, and it was all minor stuff. It was like, and they weren't even like failures; they were just errors. And it's just like, why? Why did I run down this road of trying to clean my code up? And part of it, since I was testing to get it into get it to a point where I can say, okay, I have the exact same functionality as my original alpha, so therefore my version 0 is done. I didn't have any type of like functional test. I just had my unit tests, because the functional test was, I know what it's supposed to do. I have that mimicked using Selenium, but that all worked. I got the same results, but I didn't really test the internals except for with my unit test, and my unit test is what's causing the headache.
Right. Another thing is that traditional object-oriented programming, like the way they teach it in school with, great encapsulation and you're storing your state inside your objects and all that stuff, doesn't really TDD all that great. because you'll end up getting some complexity in there. You'll have objects with state being stored inside of other objects with state, and they start passing each other around. And then you start having to do mocking and all kinds of really crazy stuff just to test some little function. And or maybe you have to do a lot of setup to get to the point where you're doing whatever it is you're trying to do, and that can be very difficult and brittle as well. So, like functional style testing, or testing that doesn't necessarily depend on any kind of specific state, you just have your input, your output with no side effects. TDD is a lot easier than designing in a traditional object-oriented style.
Yeah.
The other thing is that once you have sort of an official release, you have an API that you need to respect.
Mm-hmm.
I have these functions which my people who use my library can use. If they give these inputs, they're expecting these outputs. So once you're at that point where you have people using your library as an API, then you can't break those.
Yeah.
Those tests are there. Those tests are permanent. You're still in the development stage. So you're still moving around not only the internals, but also, everything's internal at this point.
Right. Yeah, that's a good point, too. Especially if you publish a library of some sort in an open source world, and then you go and change it between two versions, then that's not going to be happy between you and your end
Change
users.
your Unicode, the way the print function works.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm getting you. Like I said, I think it was more just a frustration because, like,
yep.
Even now I'm like going to the point where it's like, oh, hey, I need to make sure that this is returning something. And it's like, oh, no, because originally you had this as a list, and now it's a set, and way to go.
Yeah, to be honest, I mean, I've had a project go that way, and I was just like, screw this. I'm not doing TDD anymore on this project.
Yeah, and you're just like, oh, why? Wait, okay, so... Wait, what? I'm confused now. Oh, no, I know why. I'm like looking at my code now, and I was like, wait a minute, this says the same. It was like one of those asserts where it was a typo that was the problem, and not like an actual problem.
I do that.
I'm telling you, man, it's just like, why? Why?
Who never does that, though? Jonathan. He never has typos, because he's Team Typing Cat.
Yeah, wait, what? I thought he was
testing
Goat.
Oh.
Yeah. The thing is, Team Typing Cat has typos. We just correct them really quickly, or we just ignore them and keep going.
Who was it that had like 100 or 90 words per minute?
That was and see, just because you asked me, I don't know his name now, but I do know it.
Was it Jeremy?
Yeah, it was Jeremy.
Okay.
I kept wanting to say Kramer for some reason. I was like, it was Jeremy, which I got the it's Jeremy Kang, so I guess I got the K part right, but. Jeremy's. Whoa, that was weird.
What was that?
That was Andre coming into the mix.
Oh.
Actually, is Andre. Andre, what's going on?
Hello. Sorry, I'm running late tonight.
It's okay. You got a little hum as well.
Sorry?
You have like a little hum in your mic.
Let me see.
Oh. My wife is like threatening Destiny right now. I don't want to go in there.
You say she's playing Destiny.
Yeah. This is the first game that we've ever had where like I walk in there, like I get home, she's just like glued to the TV screen, like. Oh. We've had the game for a week and a half. She's like, oh, I'm at level like 34. I'm just like, I've played the game like 6 times, maybe, for a total of 1 hour. Who has time to video game when you're Pythoning?
That's right.
Video games are for Ruby devs.
Oh.
Wow. I'm not even sure what that means.
It's like, that's an insult, I think.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to get a Ruby shirt and wear it one of these weeks.
Clearly,
See,
what
wait.
Jay is trying to say is that people that code Ruby are far more efficient, so they have time to play video games.
See, I was gonna make a really corny Ruby joke and say, well, no, it's just because Ruby developers like to do things, and I would just be like, well, because that's all they're part of the if statement, if do, like, and that's about the reaction that I would expect after that.
If you need to explain the joke, it's not funny.
It's not a good joke. I know.
That might have gone over great on Ruby Monday.
Maybe.
Well, there are a lot of Ruby T-shirts out there.
I still say the Kickstarter for the Python Thursday group. That T-shirt is going to be epic.
Yep.
Because once again, you just put "it could be worse" and then have like a giant ruby with like a crack in it.
What? Is this what you were talking about when I came on?
Yes.
Wow.
This is why my code suffers, because instead of figuring out how to fix it, I figure out how I can make Ruby T-shirts or anti-Ruby T-shirts.
Oh, a lot of Ruby T-shirts out there to choose from. Huh. Anyway, all right. So, Andre, you had a pull request this week, or at least changes to a pull request. You're working on your Bootstrap project. How'd that go?
Yep, I think I'm finished.
Cool. I think you said that you got the Bootstrap layout on all of the pages, or?
Yes. The about, sample post, and contact, and the home page also.
Sweet. Take a look.
Ruby threads.
Yeah, I put that up there for Jay. Okay, so here's your branch. Let's see. Did you have a pull request already out there for it? Oh yeah, you do. So I'll look at that. That makes sense. Oh, did you fix the URL issue we were having?
If you mean like the code that
where the big snake was hijacking the URLs from the blog settings or something? I'm not sure, but I know that some of the pages weren't displaying correctly. I think you did, but I'm not sure here. Looks like you added... Oh, you added the blog URL patterns to the Big Snake URLs configuration file, I think.
snake.
Does that sound right?
And it's working.
Right on. And you updated the copyright. That's good. Cool. Did you have any questions or comments or anything about it, or is it all? All good?
Do you guys want me to share my screen and show to you?
Sure, that'd be great. I know it was looking good last week. I'd love to see it again.
Okay, let me do this.
Derek, you've been warned.
And I'm out of here. Well, I'm here, but not by video.
Andre Derek had this strange bug with his computer where when someone shares their screen, he gets issues with his computer.
Weird. Oh, by the way, thanks, Derek, for helping me with Python script that I was doing this week to
Not a
automate
problem.
some stuff in my work.
Yeah, now I can see your screen.
Okay. So this is what I made last week, right? And then I finished the other 3 pages: about, sample, post, and contact. So let's click on about.
Nice.
Just a little explanation. So we have to put some real text here. Sample post. Here. And contact.
Sweet. So we're done with the project.
No, not at all. And all the links are working. Like I'm in the contact page, and if I click in about, gives me about. I'm in about page, and I click sample post, it goes to sample post, and so on.
Now, with images, like, are those, like, for instance, when you look at the sample post, is that an image that's associated with that post, or is that an image that is static and stays the same for the sample post page?
This is just static, you know. I just done the static stuff, so it's all cosmetic, let's say.
Oh, it looks good.
Now, what about the blog stuff itself? Is that static, or is that pulling from somewhere?
The blog, you mean like this
the
sample
blog that's in there?
Here?
Yeah.
No, all static.
Okay.
All static. So what we need to do now is take the code from I forgot the name of the girl. T Miller 5. What is the name? Tiffany?
Yeah.
Tammy, yes. We need to get the code from Tammy and, you know, put to work here. Like, because she was using some other raw HTML template.
Yeah, we should be able to.
But she did.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, but she did this. Like, inside the blog app, there is a templates folder, and there is another blog folder.
That's the way. That's the way Django has you do it.
Yes. So I'm not using this yet. So my guess is that we have to take this code and put to work, like, I don't know, here, or, you know, or take these templates as a base templates and put the code to work here. You know?
Yeah, someone's going to need to do some work combining those.
Yeah. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah, I found this weird. Like, I didn't understand. Like, we have the blog app, and then a templates folder inside the blog app, and then another blog folder inside the templates. If we are doing a blog, why do we have to have this blog folder here?
It has something to do with the way that Django namespacing works. They talk about it in the Django tutorial, but they don't really explain why. They just say that it has to do with namespacing, so that it finds the right place.
Okay.
So that's by design then?
Seems to be, yeah.
Interesting.
And I used the urls.py inside the Big Snake, which is the project. So about, post, contact, they are all redirecting to the bigsnake.views.posts. And inside the views, I made these functions to render the HTML pages.
Nice. Looks good.
So basically that's what I did regarding the Bootstrap layout stuff.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool. Well, I think you're good to merge that into master.
Yeah.
And I think that is. Tammy's not on, so I don't know that we have any other things to talk about with the blog project. Was there any? I know there's some issues out there. Any issues that people wanted to work on or had questions about or anything like that? Nope.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey y'all, it's Shane. Can you hear me?
Yeah, how's it going, Shane?
Good. Sorry, it's kind of crazy right now. But if you need some, Andre, if you're are you gonna combine the templates, or I could take that on if you guys need somebody to do it.
You can take it if you want, but that was my plan. But you can take it if you want, because I have some issue to work on the contact, because it's written in PHP. And I have to port that to Python.
Okay, I can take that where I'll extend the create the base template and extend all of them, and try to put the hooks for everything else.
Nice.
Right on. That sounds good. Thanks, Shane.
No problem.
Cool. Well, it sounds like we got that taken care of. Thanks, Andre. Thanks, Shane. And
thanks.
I didn't have anything prepared. We could do some live coding if you want, or do, I don't know. What sounds good? What do you guys want to do?
Live code sounds okay. Sounds okay to me.
Okay.
Yeah, if no one's got a better idea.
Cool. Let's find something to code on. We could work on that. So I don't know, Derek, you're familiar with it. If you think that's a good thing. Last week on Iron Coder, we worked on a thing called Cake Thief, where you have a list of tuples, and each tuple contains a weight of a cake and the value of that. And you have a bag that only holds a certain weight, and you want to calculate the maximum value that you can stuff into that bag in cakes. And we come up with a solution as a group that that works a lot of the time, but it doesn't work all the time. And that was something that Derek noticed, was that when, for instance, so if you have an equal amount of cakes, I think, it works out. But sometimes you can stuff more lighter cakes and get more value than one heavier cake. So basically what we would need to do is attack this as a kind of brute force method, where you go through, I think, unless Derek, you have other ideas, where you go in and find all the permutations and come away with the most valuable one. But I could be wrong.
Dynamic programming would probably be the right. I'm sorry. Dynamic programming is the classical approach, the classical way to do this.
Okay. Let me find the problem, and I can post a link so everyone can see it. Just take me a minute. I think this was under the Google interview questions on Interview Cake. Yeah, here it is. This is one of their samples.
Sorry, Jamal. Are we going to merge the pull request that I did, or not yet?
You can go ahead and do that. Did you want to do that together, or did you want to go ahead?
No. I can do that. Okay.
Yeah,
just
go for it.
Okay.
Sorry. Go ahead, Derek.
So the normal way that this is known as the backpack problem. It's one of those sort of infamous computer science problems, and the way it's normally attacked is by dynamic programming, where you try each putting one thing into the backpack and then recursing the problem based on that, and then taking the optimal solution along the way. And so that tends to be the way you're supposed to. That tends to be the way that works for doing this sort of problem. So if you're asked this in some sort of interview, they're really checking to see, do you know the backpack problem? Do you know dynamic programming?
Okay. So then the idea would be you'd put a cake in and then run through all of the options after that cake, and then you go to the next cake and run through all the options after that.
Yep. Once you've put one cake in, you've got less weight that can fit in there, and so you have a certain value, and so you run through that smaller problem, and then go through all the possibilities, and then work your way back up.
That's interesting. Do you want to work on that one today, or does anyone have another problem you want to work through?
I'm willing to do that if that's what people want.
Yeah, let's do it. Does someone want to drive? Do you want me to drive? Any preferences?
No.
All right.
You can go.
Let me go ahead and turn off that screen. I'll put it on this wonderful Ruby t-shirt screen. I don't think Jay's there anymore. He stopped responding to me saying Ruby.
Jay is busy buying a Ruby t-shirt.
Alright, so let's... Okay, work on, let's see, and it should be, yep, on Python 3 now, and let's see, let us take encoder. I think I had the problem written out in the previous solution we did, so let me grab that real quick and we'll make a copy. And we'll go ahead and get rid of this stuff. Here. So, so here's the tuples they give us with a back capacity of 20. Should get a result of that. And of course, the easiest solution here is to say, once you show me Control P.
Yep.
Yeah, that's awesome. I like that. There we go. Did it.
It will pass your first test.
Boom, 555. All right, but obviously that's not the correct way to do it. So we have 3 nodes. So the idea here is we're going to loop through each node and then try the remaining 2 nodes, the permutations of those. So how do we do that?
So no, I don't think you're describing quite the way we want to do it. So okay. I would start off by defining a variable.
Okay.
That would be like the max value, and that would be what we're going to end up returning.
And that's probably inside this function
here?
Yeah,
inside that function.
Okay. Okay.
And then you're going to want to loop through the cake tuples.
Okay.
And so let's say value is equal to the second element of cake plus max duffel bag value.
Ooh. Little recursion.
Yep. Cake tuples. Comma capacity minus cake 0.
Here, like this?
Nope. Capacity minus cake 0, and then close your paren.
Okay.
So if we think about it with the problem that we're given there, for the first thing,
okay.
we get a value of 160. That's our cake 1, plus whatever we can stuff in. Now that we've used up 7 of the weight, and we've only got 13 left.
I see.
And
that 13 is being represented here because we're subtracting the weight of the cake that we've taken out from our max capacity, and we're adding the value of the cake that we took out.
Yep. And I forgot an if line right before that one. So if capacity is
greater than 0? Or greater than cake 0?
Well, I guess we need to do 2 things. So how about let's do here, let's say if capacity is greater than or equal to cake 0. And then so after we compute value, we want to still within the if. We want max value to equal the maximum of. I don't know. Is max a function in Python? It seems like it should be. Value and max value.
Okay, so it's going to take the greater one of those.
Yep.
Okay. So that finds. It's going to find the. Huh. Okay. I think you just did some magic, but I think I understand it.
I've looked at dynamic programming before, but yes, it tends to feel like magic.
Because you're using recursion to find your best value over and over again,
yep.
And it's going to come up with the best one because that max value is outside of your if and your for, and it will return it.
Yep.
All right, let's do another shot. Nailed it, and look how fast that was.
That was a lot faster than I was expecting it to be.
Ooh. Wow. That was kind of amazing. That was like I just coded it. Someone just told me how to code a unicorn.
That's some crazy coding right there.
I'm pretty sure that is a whole lot less code than I would have come up with. So let me see if I understand this. So we set up our max value here, which is going to contain the greatest value that we found at any given point in the program. Yep. And we loop through all of the various cakes. If we haven't run out of room in the bag, which is essentially what this is saying, then we're going to calculate the value for the current cake plus the best value for all the remaining cakes.
Based on how much space we have left.
Based on how much space we have left. And if that comes out to more than what we've currently valued our capacity of our bag, then set it to our max value. Once we complete doing all that, we return the max value that has magically appeared in this variable.
Yep.
That is really cool. It's like that sieve thing that you did last week, too. I like it.
Thank you.
Well, that coding challenge is down. Did we want to work on another one? Or what's everyone think? How about you, Jonathan? What do you think?
We can work on something else. It's only 9:52.
That's true. Very true. All right. Does anyone have a site? You want to look at this interview cake site is cool. There's also Project Boiler. There's I think Code Kata and someone told me another one. So pick a number between say 1 and 3. Anyone?
A number from what?
1 to 3.
1 to 3?
Yeah.
2.
2. Project Euler it is.
Project Euler.
Euler.
Sorry, Euler. Project
Euler?
Euler.
I never would have guessed that.
He's German. He's German.
Euler.
Okay, so...
no, not a lot German, just an eighth.
The largest palindrome product. A palindromic number reads the same both ways. The largest palindrome made from the product with two two-digit numbers is 9009, which is 91 times 99. Find the largest palindrome made from the product of two three-digit numbers. That sounds easy. Of course, it probably isn't. So, and the palindrome is the largest palindrome number that is the product of two three-digit numbers. All right, so first let's write a function that's going to determine if something is a palindrome. I think that's a good place to start here. So we'll call it is a palindrome number. Let's set something up here. We'll make a list, and we will have, say, some numbers here. And I'm going to set it up so that we'll print it out and say, is a palindrome. That's right. Format. And num is a palindrome. We'll have this just return true for now. Okay, they're all palindromes right now. So that's working. All right, so how do we make this return actually palindromic numbers? I think the easy way is to convert it to a string and compare it to the reverse of itself.
Yeah. Yep.
That sounds good.
Cool. The dot reverse or
is reverse a function?
No, I think.
No, I don't think it is.
I think you're supposed to do it as a
You could do the string slicing thing.
Yeah.
The as string bracket colon minus one.
Yeah. Race car.
Yeah.
Race car. There, that thing.
Yeah.
Not take the fact that I didn't put an extra equals. Come on, insert mode. There we go. Looks like it works. The race car did it.
Alright, so we got the palindromes down now with the
product of two three-digit numbers. The highest one. So, I guess my first question is, Jarrett, do you have any tricks up your sleeve to discover, to go through a series of products by chance?
I don't think so, but since we're looking for the largest, maybe we should start at the top.
Sounds like a good idea. So maybe... So do you want to just set up maybe 2 counters and count back, or 2 loops and just loop back, or how do we loop them both at this? Which one do we loop first, I guess? So do we say, like, start at 999 and 999? If that fails, we go 998 and 999. If that fails,
yeah, probably.
Maybe bounce back and forth.
Yeah.
Okay. Or could we do 1 even and 1 odds? No, because then we just need to do the same as well. So that wouldn't work. Okay, so we'll try that. Something like that. So we'll go 4. Wow. Let's say x equals 999, y equals 999. Wow. X greater than 0, and I want to do this instead. Found equals searching true. Searching. Product equals x times y. If is a palindrome product. And searching equals false. And it's a good message. It's very meaningful too. Else. And I forgot quotes. That's what all those crazy colors are telling me.
And I think you want to move that closed paren to the end of the line.
You are absolutely correct. Okay, that looks right, and now we need to do something with x and y so it doesn't just repeat. If x, how do we get it to alternate? If mod x That's y mod 2 1. I'm just guessing here. Something like that. So if they add together and are even, subtraction 1. If they're odd, they subtract from the other. That works. That's just guessing. Alright, well, let's see what we got so far. I am curious. And I also have a feeling this is going to take a while. No, it's going to error out. I to do that a lot.
It errored out quick.
Yeah. I leave my colons off of my else clauses.
I didn't expect those numbers.
Negative. What the heck is going on?
I think we made a mistake somewhere.
I would have to agree.
I don't think you ever updated the searching.
Well, it went.
No, I did here. If it's a
4-digit number.
Oh, well. Apparently we didn't find any palindromes.
So let's try this. Or.
And. Because we want it to be false if either of the conditions is false.
Okay, yeah. And x greater than 0. Stop us, I think. Oh, it actually is finding palindromes and not stopping. Oh. There.
Oh.
Well, we found one.
We did find one.
That's pretty neat. 698,896.
Yeah, that was the first one too. It actually stopped us. All right, well, let's see if that's it.
Oh, they changed Project Euler.
What do you mean?
They'd never had that answer check thing before. Isn't that new?
No. They got hacked at one point, and they took down this.
Okay.
The answer system. Because they were worried about something. And
okay.
It's come back not that long ago.
Huh. But how did we get the wrong answer?
I don't know.
Are we not adding the combination of numbers correctly?
Well, we're only hitting numbers that are off by 1. I think we're going to need a double loop.
Yeah, because we wouldn't catch like 999 times 992. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is one search method. I guess the other way would be to just decrement only x, right? No, because we would also need to sometimes decrement y.
Yeah, like 999 needs to multiply by everything from 999 to 100.
Right.
And that has to happen for every single number.
So So let's just, for the sake of argument, copy this. And if x, if y is greater than, let's say, 600, otherwise not. I'm assuming that if it's less than 600, it's not going to actually get there.
True.
I mean, this is kind of hacky. There's probably a better way to do this. Some kind of magic, like we did before with that recursive thing. But let's see what this does. What happened? I think it only went through the loop once because it was already set to. Okay, yeah. Reset searching. We can suppress these for now so we don't get. Let's see, leave it on there.
Why don't you just put block quotes around that first version of the function? I don't know. Will that work?
Yeah.
Ooh.
That looks smaller.
That looks smaller.
Oh. Huh. Went all the way down to 91.
Yeah, I wonder why I did that. It's not even a two-digit number. I think. Let's see what that does.
We seem to be going the wrong way.
Okay. Well, I'm going to let someone else try for a minute because my answers have suddenly. They seem to be going downhill. So how do we manipulate these two sets of numbers in such a way that we can find a different result than we did by kind of stutter stepping down? Or doing some kind of weird magic.
All right, how about this one?
Okay.
4x.
Is this in the while loop?
No. This is another version of the looping.
So let's go ahead and 4x
in range 100, comma 1000, comma -1. So my hope there, and someone should correct me if I'm remembering things wrong, is that that'll start at 999 and work its way down to 100.
I believe you are correct.
Okay. Let's see. For y in range, 100 to x -1. I'm sorry, no. 100 to x plus 1, comma, -1. So that way we'll start at x, because anything larger than that we would have already hit.
Okay.
Um,
Now we want to do our checks for a palindrome.
yeah.
Right, we'll print it out if it's palindrome.
What is a palindrome?
what just happened?
Yeah.
Oh, well, it would probably help if we actually computed product.
Yeah, that might help. You mean none isn't a palindrome?
Huh. We're doing something wrong.
Let's multiply those together.
So I don't. Oh, maybe get rid of those up there. That X and Y.
I don't know if that matters, but
Oh, yeah, I don't know.
do we need to step the other way? Like that?
Oh yeah, maybe.
That was the syntax.
Lots of palindromes.
Lots of
I guess we'll just go to the top one.
Not necessarily. If you notice, they're jumping around.
Yeah, very true.
Around. Okay, so let's go back here and instead of printing it out, let's put it in a list. Or do that max thing, right?
Yeah, I do the max thing. But that's the C programmer in me. I'm not going to create an array. That means I need to worry about allocating memory. No way.
Oh, it's funny. Max. Max.
Oh, I was gonna say your parentheses.
We're absolutely correct. I've got more Python 3 now than I have Python 2, and it gets me every time. Ooh,
That's a biggie.
that is a biggie. And it is the correct answer.
Awesome.
Woo! All right, how are we doing? Is everyone still awake?
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
the three of us, because, Jay doesn't count.
Jay
what's up,
says he's
Jay?
here, but he's not really.
What's that, Jay? You love Ruby? Whoa.
He's listening.
Yeah, sure, we can code that in Ruby, Jay. All right, so what do you guys think? Are we good? Do we want to try the next problem? Do we want to just talk about something else? Turn off screen share. There you go. All right. Thoughts? Ideas? Or do we want to call it a wrap? I thought that was a really cool solution to that palindrome. I was sure that by going down incrementally, we'd find the largest number, but apparently I was wrong.
So that was a nifty little solution.
That was. Now I know who to call when I need an algorithm. All right, well, I think we can call it a wrap. I'm probably going to end up doing some live coding tomorrow night, so... So, Jonathan, if you're up to it and you're not busy, feel free to join us.
I will definitely try and make it.
I know it's a busy day, but if you can make it, we'd love to have you there.
Yeah, I will definitely try and make it.
Cool. Sounds good. Jay, that goes for you too. No, it's busy, but we'd love to have you stop by Iron Coder and show us a little Python. Or Ruby, if you prefer.
Or Ruby.
All right, gentlemen. Have an excellent night.
All right. You too. Jay, don't forget to get the show notes.
Oh, yeah, show notes. And Jay has the live-o-meter, so he's the one who can take us off live.